All right, it's summertime, particularly here in Indiana. All right, and in summertime in Indiana, it used to be on talk radio, you talked about two things. One, should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Two, should Bobby Knight and Indiana University reconnect? Well, Bob Knight and Indiana University reconnected. So we jumped out of the Bob Knight and brought in, should Andrew Luck be in the Colts Ring of Honor? So should Andrew Luck be in the Colts Ring of Honor and should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Those are the two things that we discuss when there's absolutely nothing else. Remember, in Indy, we don't have professional baseball, and nobody really cares about the Reds. And, of course, they do about the Cubs, but the Cubs stink. And let's be honest, in the city of Indianapolis, we've done studies on this. It goes Colts, IU basketball, and nothing else unless the Pacers are in the playoffs. I've tried to make Aiden O'Connor a thing, but let's get back to Pete Rose. First time in 30 years, Pete Rose is going to be on the field in Philadelphia, celebration 1980 World Series champions. Now look, Pete Rose was banned from baseball. Pete Rose supposedly was not allowed to be on the field, not allowed to be associated in any way with Major League Baseball. Okay, that's fine. So Pete Rose is not in any way allowed to be associated in any way, shape, or form with Major League Baseball. All right, well, guess what? Pete Rose has been on the field at Major League Baseball game celebrating the top 50 players or whatever the hell the idiotic celebration was. Pete Rose is now going to be on the field for the first time in 30 years. First time in 30 years in Philadelphia, he's going to be on the field. All right, listen. If we're going to do the NCAA things and give a waiver for everything, how about we just put the man in the Hall of Fame? I don't care one way or the other. Like if Pete Rose went in the Hall of Fame tomorrow, I'd be like, hey, great, Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. If Pete Rose doesn't get in the Hall of Fame tomorrow, I'd be, oh, great, Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame. But when you keep doing this stupid stuff, look, put the man in the Hall of Fame, tell the whole story of Pete Rose, and move on with it. And if you don't want him to get up and speak, then don't let him get up and speak. The bottom line is this. You let David Ortiz in, and I'll get to that in a minute. You let freaking David Ortiz in. David Ortiz went from being literally a nothing player to all of a sudden, oh my God, in the steroid era, it just coincided with him becoming a home run hitting powerhouse. Oh my God, and of course, David Ortiz gave a speech yesterday, and the media, oh, he stole the show. Well, of course he did. You know why David Ortiz stole the show. He's on the right side of the media. You can't trick us, people. Look, do us all a favor. Just put the man in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if you're going to be so wishy-washy, or just do this. Say, look, we banned you. Get out. We put the ban on you. In every single locker room, in every single professional sport, it tells you don't bet, and if you do, you are banned from the sport. I've been in the Colts locker room, big old... Just ban the dude, or don't. Either way, I don't know what to tell you. But, oh, he's going to come on the field for this. He's going to put him in the Hall of Fame, make a plaque this big, tell the entire complicated story of Pete Rose. Or lock him out. The world is nuts. We're so afraid to stick to our guns, and we're so afraid to admit that we made a mistake. We're so afraid to say, yeah, okay. A little empathy. Look, you can't bet on baseball when you're a baseball player manager. You can't bet on football, particularly your team. I don't care whether you bet them to win or lose. I don't believe any reports of any kind of those things. I don't believe any of them. None of it. None. Zero. Seriously. You can tell me you didn't do it. You can tell me what you did. But I walked up to a Hall of Fame baseball player with a coach, and he got out a betting slip that he had in his back pocket at the batting cages. True story. I got a lot of stories, people. Just put the man in the Hall of Fame or get his ass out. One of the two. Who cares?